probably need a mic here. Okay, I'm still not sure how that's gonna work. I should probably start something before the stream, but at the same time it doesn't change anything. There was a bunch of weird categories for coding. The main one is basic programming. I don't know why that comes out a lot first. So this works. Here, this might become a 15-minute stream. Need to be careful about the. I don't think I want to screen share the whole desktop at once. Okay, so I guess what's the drawing stream thing? Kind of works. Getting used to it being a bit more zoomed in. Nah, well, I guess it's a bit more interesting. That was still work. Still a bit more interesting than just blank screen, especially when it's not for a game. So here, higher. Let's boot up just Rust, so Visual Studio Code should be enough. Make sure I don't have some kind of social security number right on the thing. Should be good. What folder am I on? I think I was looking out for OBS logs. Yes, last time. So projects, Rust. Here, my baby game. Okay. I will be starting at some Hello World level. I just like want to see how learning something new right on stream feels like. Might not work at all. So, this is that. I guess I should duplicate the scene. Guess I should also boot up studio mode. Duplicate this scene. Stream coding. Put it up. Is there some tags for setting up? Delta Rune and the stuff is fair, and it's not like Toho where this music will be intense just as once. There's no, yeah, okay. There's no desktop audio. Please. Here. Audio output. Manual desktop audio. Here. Where is it? I don't see it. That's weird. If I play something. That's so strange. Why is it not there? Is it because studio mode? I am. Oh, okay. Is it that? Okay, I'm sorry for the clipping. I wasn't on the right scene since because of studio mode. So this is that, this is there. Maybe raise it a bit. Maybe not. No, okay. It should be at minus 28 something, but the music itself should be louder. And my headphones should be lower because that's a bit loud. That is not a thing. Okay, then let's lower this and heighten this. I have no idea how it sounds on stream. I should have some kind of credit. Still haven't done that on... Wow, there's so much junk. Here, here, here. I guess I can hide this. Other stream, yeah, I can keep it, but hide it. Chat can stay. OBS window and BS window I can go. 2. I am on the coding scene, yes. Alert box is here, VTube is there. There's a lot of junk on that scene. Oh yeah, I was wondering, I did put the music. Now, is there a setting up? Not suing. Okay. Pop up stream, figure. Yeah, okay. At this point it's mostly just chatting, but also it's not for the point of being just chatting, so. Pyrography. Oh, a lot of interesting stuff. Okay, let's ignore that. Hourglass, main drawing screen, that okay, gray part, so that can go. Live 2D, isn't this? Because I don't want to show it. Oh right, that was when I was doing the model. Okay. Art showcase, it's not necessary, but at the same time makes it more interesting, so why not? So the question is, I should now put it in studio mode. Desktop, because Unity has a thing where if you screen share it, like it clips and stuff, so you need to screen the window instead. So window, so you need to screen share the desktop itself. Where is it? I'm blind. Window capture. Do I have a VS Code already? Not apparently. An S code. That's not on the main. Okay. Code.x. Then I don't want that 1440p. What is this other stream? Where is it now? Transform, no, transform, reset. Is it not there? How have I got? How is it gone? Order, move to top. No, still not. It is there, but also it's not. That's very strange. Was there a moment ago? Ah, back. Okay. Yeah. I'm doing that on OBS side, just making sure everything works, but also everything doesn't. So, okay. When I'm looking at property, I guess I can show that. Here, that's the thing. Now I guess I should... Oh, I guess it doesn't scale at all. Now if I squeeze that a bit, oh, that's really not how it should work. Okay. All of it is very strange. But anyway, my point was, if I go in properties and do, oh, okay, it's still there. Now if I'm here, it kind of works. It's very not great. So like this, and then like this. It could be better, but it could be much worse. Now I want this to be, actually, just want this to be here. Actually, I want it to be way lower. Even lower than the art showcase, so right on top of the background. I guess I want to show the left bar. And maybe less of this. Might as well show the top too, so basically all of the left corner. That is so strange. It has to be a bug. But okay, kinda works. All of the previous drawings are stuff from April and such. Maybe I should hide it. Maybe slap some slowly. Figuring out games at dream setup. Okay. Now what I don't want to forget is to slap to add some credits to the side. Here. Yeah, I don't know where I would put it actually. Text. I think I usually put it in other stream here. Stream info? No. Plus text. Music credit. There has to be a better way, but that'll do for now. I think I'm code. It's N for note, I guess. Here, make it smaller. I think I can handle hearing Castle Town for an hour or so. Let's make it shabby. So here. What's the definition of shabby? I feel like I'm having a deja vu from this. In poor condition through long or hard use or lack of care. Yep, I think that's what poor condition through lack of care is what I'm looking for. Okay. So let's get actually started, but also I have not opened the snack I have acquired. I hope I'm not making that. I hope the mic is not picking that up. much better. Here. Now to actually look at stuff. Yes, I see this, I see this. Learn. Should I try to read through the stream? That would be doable. And that would be safer too. Since I don't know how to hide everything from Chrome. Yeah, let's try and do that. I'll find out the page I'm looking for. Yeah, I guess it's not there. Having momentum when trying to stream this would be like something to do actually in itself would be better. So this might become a 15-minute stream. But fast compiles, I went through that, yes. The first run I did, I was starting to look into systems and stuff. Okay, then what happened if I add this to OBS? Let's slap on studio mode again. Browser. I am blind. General browser. Let's call it. URL this. Let's not add custom CSS. That seems to work. Though can I scroll? Yeah, I don't think I can scroll. Okay, that might not work great. I guess it's for specific like usage. Then let's. What happens if I take wow? Okay, and then move it here? That's not much better. That's okay, but this should be more like this, which should be more like this, which should be more like, oh my god. Output directory does not exist at. Let me disable this. How is it gonna handle a reload? Yeah, it's more of a testing out than figuring out. Oh, okay. Going to view did not serve anything. First are still pretty good. Files are not leaking social security numbers. Then if I put this here and actually go in studio mode this time. Window capture. Chrome capture. Chrome window. That is the Chrome window. Seems to work. Match title. Window title must match. Client area. I wonder what client area means. Okay, then hide this, put it here. Must be very inconvenient actually. Put it here. Oh, no? Somehow it's really... Oh, okay, I'm moving the audio. Here, move that below VS Code. That works. Here, that makes sense. Is that readable? That's probably not readable. Lock VS Code. What? Is that the scrolling bar? Yeah. I guess we want to hide this. Yep. Quite the definition of shabby. So, and do I want to read all of it on stream? Do I read all of it? Let's skim a bit. And take a bit more. Is that applesauce? It's not. I had that thing the other day, like it's not apple, so it's not applesauce. Is that peach sauce? Is that a thing? Oh, I guess I'm cutting the audio short there. But I need to move the mic a bit. Seems to be working fine still. The thing is, yeah, this whole setup doesn't work great. The thing is, the iPad's camera doesn't see that much from the angle I'm at. Okay, so I think I should be able to get started. So, for example, one entity might have position and velocity. I did read that last time. So you've got entities with components. Right, okay. ECS pattern encourages clean, decoupled design by forcing you to break your app into data and logic into its core components. It also helps make code faster by optimizing memory access patterns and making parallelism easier. The addition of ECS pattern, unlike other Rust ECS implementations, make... Do we see the mouse? Yes, we see the mouse. Though it is small. No, it's just because the stream, it's smaller on stream. Yeah. I guess I should try at least to run a line or two, but I don't think learning while on stream will work great. Yeah, which often require complex lifetime traits and builder patterns macros. Baby ECS uses normal Rust data types for all of its concepts. Structs for the components, makes sense. Systems are just normal Rust functions, makes sense. Print position system, query, yeah, you query a bunch of transforms, loop through them, print them all every frame. Entities are simple type containing unique integers, so just a struct with unsigned 64. Makes sense? Now let's see how this works in practice. Your first system based this function in main RS. We've got it there. this will be, that's where I was yesterday, Friday, something like that. This will be your first system. The only remaining step is to add it to your app. So look at the app build. We're adding a method to add system hello world. That system does the odd keyboard really big. The mic doesn't take up too much of the keyboard. That's nice. Yeah, I'm new to Rust in itself, but I really like that you can like add a method to the function randomly like that. Which adding a method to a method is something in itself. Note that hello world system is a function call. This is a trait extension method that converts hello world function into a system type. Can I F12 on that? But I guess I should try and hide this part. So, and I guess I don't need this. So, public trait into system makes sense. Param system type system fn system. It adds the system function with a self parameter, which there's a word I'm looking for, but makes it gives it a state in general, and it returns the system type, which is system. Okay. So basically anything can be a system. Well, doesn't say that it needs to be a function. So like, can you take a U64 for example, or a string and make it a system? That's a good question. I don't know how that will work. That converts a hello world function into a system type. Don't see the tab, that's fine. The add system function adds the system to your app schedule, but we'll cover that more later. Now run your app again using cargo run. You should see hello world printed once in your terminal. Okay, I'm not sure why the system is being run only once. Would assume it would go a big question is, I guess I should scroll that up. How does running the thing will run on stream? No arguments. There's no social security number in there. User Misevico documents, that all makes sense. I did not look at the frames, but it seems that I have not missed much of them. And I have tested, it says hello world. Just let's run that again. Hello world, yes, works fine. Okay, that's a good start. Your first components. Yes, greening the whole world is great, but what if we want to greet a specific people? In ECS, you would probably generally model people as entities with a set of components that define them. Let's start simple with a person component. Add this struct to main RS. I don't know if Rust has an order of definition. I would suppose that no, but I guess we can test that too on the spot. I'm gonna take yeah, okay, this is kind of strange. Yeah, okay, this is very strange. Can I try to do it without having the mouth open? Nope, that doesn't work. Should be done soon though. guess I want to zoom that a little bit. Put it over VS Code, since that's the main focus. Let me just... I can pull out Twitter without it showing up on stream, that's good. And I suppose that if I were to change tab here, yeah, it's, yeah, I'm recording the window, that makes sense. So my question, but not my question, but my point was to take note of having dynamic, well, automatic song title on stream, since I'm going to forget. So, yes, but what if we want our people to have a name? In a more traditional design, we might just tag it name string field on person, but other entities might have names too. For example, dogs should probably also have a name. Okay, yeah, but okay, we're gonna add a name component. It often makes sense to break data types up into small pieces to encourage code reuse. So let's make a name its own component. Makes sense. So person's gonna be more of a tag thing. String. From what I got, that's a tuple. I guess I should change the string title for something more. Solving figuring out, okay. Yes. Let's call it learning, slowly learning? No. Learning baby Rust baby gaming thing. Done. Then we can add people to our world using a startup system. Okay. Startup system are just like normal systems, so they run exactly once. Isn't that just what we did? That seems like just what we did. Before all other systems, right when our app starts, let's use commands to spawn some entities into our world. Then add people. Mutable commands. Get my stream setup is desk setup is not great right now either. So let me take my keyboard and put it a bit more in front of me. Put the Cintiq way back because I don't need it. That's a bit better. Since I'm I'm focusing more on the left screen, since that's the one without the social security number. It's easier to try to work on the right, but my setup my desk is not set up for this. So add people, commands, spawn, insert person, that insert name, string to string. That's something I haven't practiced much. I guess taking a literal and making a string object with it. Zoom. Is it? Yes. With some names. Oh yeah, we should just take what's given. Elena Proctor. Renzo Hum. Zaina Neves. Okay. Now register the startup system like this. Main, add, build, add startup system. Fair enough. Add startup system, add people, that system. And then yeah, we take our method and we make a system with it. It takes parameters command. I guess Hello World could have done that, or that's more of a startup system thing. We could run this app now and the add people system would work first, followed by Hello World, but our new people don't have anything to do yet. Let's make a system that probably greets the new citizen of our world. Greet people. Greet people. Query. That's the one we saw earlier with the transform. With person. I suppose that we're querying all the entities that have a name component, and we also want them to have a person, but we only getting the name component, since it doesn't matter what's in the person component. Here for name and query that iterator head person that 0, since from like this struct is a tuple type with a string first, so if we do .0 we're getting the first element of the tuple, which is string. This good. The parameters we pass into the system function define what data the system runs on. In this case, greet people will run on all entities with the person and name component. You can interpret the query above as iterate over every name component for entities that also have a person component. So yeah. Now we just register our system into our app. It's a system since we want it to run. Also, it does not run every frame. Yeah. Greet people. Running our app will get the following result. Clear this. Zoom it up. Cargo run. Frames are not dropping, though we're not making a game yet. Hello Elena, hello Renzo, hello Zaina. I'm still wondering why it runs only once, but though the whole program shuts down after we run our systems, so maybe it's just we haven't added a game loop or something. I might take a few more bites. Actually, I might mute it instead of trying to hold control the whole time. This is very dumb, but also there's not much peach sauce yet, so that it's not gonna be dumb for long. Marvelous. Quick note: Hello World might show up in a different order than it does before. This is because systems run in parallel by default whenever possible. Oh yeah, I guess it doesn't show, but this time it ran. This time Hello World happened next. If we do it again. It does, it still doesn't show. This time it's the last, and this time it's the last again. Okay, I just want it to show up first. Here we go. Alright, and plugins. One of Bevy's core principles is modularity. All Bevy engine features are implemented as plugins. This includes internal features like the renderer, but games themselves are also implemented as plugins. This empowers developers to pick and choose which features they want. Don't need a UI? Don't register the UI plugin. Want a Want to build a headless server? Don't register the render plugin. Makes sense? This also means that you're free to replace any components you don't like. If you feel the need, you are welcome to build your own UI plugin, but consider the neck is folding a bit too much, but consider contributing it back to Bevy if you think it would be useful. What does that point out to? Learn book contributing. Makes sense. Okay, if we were to try and build our own plugin. However, most developers don't need the custom experience, they just want the full engine experience with no hassle. For now... yeah. That's... like, yeah, since I set up the iPad behind the screens, and yeah, I'm putting my hands in front. Set up the iPad behind the screens, and VTube Studio makes the lightning, the brightness to minimum while streaming. I have notifications and my eyes are not processing at all how that works, since it's a bright spot in between two brighter spots and I'm supposed to try to read the middle of the sentence. It's not quite convenient. What I wanted to do is lock this. So let's Bevy's default plugins. Let's make our app more interesting by adding a default Bevy plugins. With add plugins, default plugins. That makes sense. We add it first. Add plugins. Default plugins. Once again, cog run. Do we need to import those, or that's part of the prelude? That seems to be part of the prelude. Still no framed drop. Oh, that's a... oh yeah, I guess I'm not showing this. Thread main panicked, all support format, stream config not supported. Yep. Run, rust, environment variable, display backtrace, process didn't exit successfully. So panicked at build output stream failed with all supported formats, stream config not supported. That is clearly not what was supposed to happen. Okay, so let's look into that. Here we might have a feature, a compile feature I have not added that's necessary. I did install the build tool 2019, so that should be good. Bevy engine, stream config, no, not supported. Here. Also, I did that right? Build, add plugins here after our startup and everything. No need to import anything. Should be good. We have installed Bevy. Yeah, we're using it. We've been using it. Also, I'm touching all of this, but I don't know if the engine is stable enough to use, but it should be stable enough to go through the tutorial. Add default plugin, I guess. Here. Using this tutorial for creating just prototype, add plugin right after build. That is not my issue, but that is the same prompt. is not this same problem. So on our side, build output stream failed with all supported formats. That does seem to be the same thing as not available, but I don't think that is it. Here we have 0.5, that's still okay. It might be a Visual Studio thing. I'm gonna finish the peach sauce. There, no more weird life to the eating. Looks like graphics driver issues some flavor. Okay. Oh, this person almost has the same issue. Build output stream failed with all supported type, but backend specific. And do I have something actually relevant in the, because I don't think I have a stack trace. Oh yeah, run with rest backtrace environment variable to display the backtrace. That's where I'm not sure how to add environment variable in PowerShell. Here makes sense. $env and then rest backtrace equal 1. Then if I try to go cargo run, I get a bit more context. This is slightly unzoomed. Just making sure, well, I'm not making that much sure, but yeah, just making sure nothing specific is showing up. But all my stuff is like C user Misabico, so it should be fine. And app data is specific, like app data or cargo are pretty generic too. So failed with this. Actually, let me just rerun it just to not have the wrapping. Yes, I think wrapping is the term. So thread panicked with this, yes. Here, let's see if I can pull out some relevant information. Is that also audio related? Yes, that does seem also audio related. Slightly. Right. that size. Scrolling here. Alright. So what was the follow-up? Okay. And that's on August. Okay. And just for a reminder, how do I get a specific branch of cargo Rust? Well, I guess you might be able to see it here. Learn, review book, next page, get clone. You know, that's this. And here, now Bevy is currently being updated at rapid pace. Making a dependency on Git repo instead of a cargo crate will allow you to receive the latest updates as fast as possible. However, there are often breaking changes made to the APIs and behavior that doesn't affect us. We just, like, we're not making a game with that we need to be maintained and stuff. We're just learning through it. This means that it will be important to keep up with latest developments with Bevy. This is not recommended for people who are just getting started with Bevy. Can't tell me what to do or something. See if that helps. That might do the full compile. Yes, it should do the full compile. Now we're looking at the real frame test. Though waiting for file lock unpackage. I think that was a thing that happened a lot. I guess that's the Rust analyzer that's making the lock, which is not useful right now. And it failed to load workspace. That's nice. It's actually really hard to read. I guess especially on split screen. Failed to select version for WebSys. Query package, okay. So I guess I should try and use WebSys directly, though. Is that actually necessary? Is 0.5 still the most updated version? What happens if I do this? Flicker, but it's generally fine. Okay. WebSys in the direct dependency. We have a prior version anyway, so this and we have names with Rust Analyzer is dying over here. And I have dashes in the name. So my question is, Rust Analyzer is very dying. 0.5. It's dope. It's not very convenient. There we go. It doesn't say that I missed too many frames, but the the stream seemed to have like to go into 4 FPS mode. So would nice if I could have just a terminal much. Yeah. So trade bound to person component is not satisfied. Component is not implemented for person. That makes sense. Required because of the requirement implement world query. Makes sense. Same thing here. Is there some new development since 0.5? Let me just try to find an example. There are very hello world. Oh, there is literally a hello world.rs. Okay. Hello world system, add system. But that's not the problem we're running here. That's specifically with component. ECS maybe? ECS game input, iOS reflection, scene, shader tools, UI, WASM, window. App or ECS? Empty. System params, that makes sense. There you go. Struct player has it derived. We didn't have to add it ourselves to. That's for plugins. Yeah, so far we did not have to, but that might be a new thing, which like just deriving. I'm not too certain how deriving works on Rust, but well, that seems reasonable. How does that work? Derive component. Component? No, yeah, just the attribute as such. And then let's run cargo run again. Is it fast? Okay, this time build. I should have read the whole example. App dip new. Huh. How much did the engine change since then? No function associated with item build found on struct app or the current scope. Okay, here it uses new. Then insert resource, add startup system, add system. It doesn't do the dot system every time though. To remove those. Here. Makes sense, makes sense. System params. The system, I guess I can put this here. This. Right. The system param struct can contain any type that can also be included in a system function signature. Makes sense? In this example, it includes a query and a mutable resource. We haven't reached resources yet, but yeah. Yes, query. It's a bit more detailed than it was. Yeah, like we didn't have to set up the lifetimes. I think that's how they call. But yeah, yes. Spawn some player to count. Command spawn. That's what we did here. Command spawn. Insert player. Player has no parameter, and the system parent can be used directly as in a system argument. We pass it. That's the startup command that we use here. Spawn, and then your system count players has the param counter. It has a player counter param, which is a struct with the query in resource mutable. Counter.count. Is that a thing? Yes, here. For player counter. It takes in mutable self, since it has those two. And count is 0. Count being this? Self.count. Oh, okay, no. Okay, count is a resource. Makes sense. Which is also a struct. Okay, you got the player counter in the player count. Player count has a usize in it. If I recall, usize is just a generic int, unsigned int. Like if you don't care about the size. Is that it? I don't know. Let's actually Google that. Usize. The pointer size unsigned integer type. The size of this primitive is how many bytes it takes to reference any location in memory. Okay, but for this, I suppose, since we're just using player count, I suppose it's just the generic int size, integer size. So, self.players, iter length makes sense. Alright. Okay, that being said, now our problem is... Wait, no, our problem is that new didn't exist. So it lets us just have this kind of parameter. Here. Did my eye just twitch? Oh, now that's a system. And we have a window now. It does, yeah, I guess I should stream that, but it... I'm wondering how I'm gonna do this setup. But yeah, we've got that whole loop over here, which doesn't seem to be breaking the stream. Now what I'm wondering if, can I, studio mode, add window, create one, baby window with a B. Yes, that's it. We must match the title exactly. We don't see, okay, it's really not useful. We don't see the top bar, but it's basically just that gray window opened. But that's gonna be useful later. If I close this, the program stops and the stream stops showing. If I run it again, it shows up again. Okay, great. Progress. So, which means the plugins works. And since we did use a plugin, that probably means that this includes a game loop and all. So the only thing that changes is the new. We might want to check out that new. How would we do that? Let's go over here. Probably prior to this. Yes, the app was introduced earlier. Apps. That works. Containers for app logic and data. Yeah, later on I might consider streaming the whole window, but like remove the corner, the sides and stuff, just to make sure no notifications creep in. Even though notifications should creep in since they show up on the left window, on the left screen, but you never know. So, struct app store the ECS world, the resource schedule executor. They also store the run function of the app, which by default executes the app schedule once. That's what we were wondering. Apps are constructed using the builder pattern, which is, I suppose, the ... thing here. Like, we build the app and then we execute it. Those don't do stuff. Like they add information on how the app is going to get built, but it's only built here, if I got that right. Here. Is that a thing? Like, I guess if it doesn't receive a dot system, it will add the system by itself, but let's try this. Anyway. This control run, which showed up at the bottom. Oh, everything is showing up at the bottom. But if it works fine, then we should have a bunch of hello world. If it works fine. There we go. Okay. That's interesting that that system is not used. It is not needed anymore. So my question is... oh no, okay. It says .run here, not .new. So am I looking at an outdated documentation? What is this button? IU. Oh, this is pleasant. But let's leave it at dark. Okay, where do we find the releases? 0.5. Can I go on main? I suppose the documentation, especially the hosted one, is not available. Then if we go on the repo directly, REST API docs is probably gonna take us to 0.5 again, yes. Which means so then how about looking at the code for app? Which could we find? Source. That's 0.5 again. It doesn't give us the file itself. It doesn't even tell us where that file is, except it's in source baby app rs. That makes sense. Source. Well, it's not all stored in here, right? Am I in the engine? Yes. Baby internal. And that is for the resources. Yes. Right? Ah, there it is. Baby internal. Source. Still not quite. App.prelude, that makes sense. Do we have a baby.app? Yes. App rs. I'm not sure what I'm looking for though. Default, makes sense. New, empty, update, run is here. So what did run not... oh, what was I looking for? What is it built in the docs too? Okay. So yeah, there must be a change where build became new at some point. That data, and now what I'm wondering is, well, first, yeah, this uses .build, but what I am wondering is, can we see the doc updated? No. That's for an example. Here. Docs. That's not quite what I'm looking for. Okay, right, yeah, the docs is made over as we go. So then my question is, how do I generate docs for current project? Cargo generate docs. The cargo doc. That's reasonable. I think I need to clear cargo doc. Just doc. The doctor development. That's my fault. I know my problem on the dash on the dashboard on the what I set it development. Then I changed the title on OBS, and the category was still on just chat. But yeah, basically the same thing. I'm not being productive enough to code software and game development. Plus the title was accurate. Tag, which is actually not by default. Oh, I'm not sure how expensive. Let's take time. I guess we don't need to be doing this since we need a breakthrough. Alright, you should hopefully notice two things. Window should pop up. This is because we now have a window plugin which defines a window interface but doesn't actually know how to make windows, and WinInit plugin which uses WinInit, WInit, to create a window using OS native window app. Okay, so this is the information, like I want a gray background, I want it, I guess that was but yeah, that size I want to have that it throws that to W in it. Your console is now full of hello messages, indeed. This is because default plugins adds an event loop to our applications. Our app's set now runs in a loop once per frame. We will resolve the console spam in a moment. Yay. So all is good. I would like now that I think about it, a category just coding. No. Blah 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 and more plugins. Okay. I am curious. What's a group? How is a group formed? Obstruct default plugins, implement plugin group for default plugins, build group that add a bunch of stuff. And I guess only if the feature includes this, then we add this. Okay, makes sense. Should pay attention that I'm showing the proper line. Yes, creating your first plugin for better organization. Let's move all of our hello logic to a plugin. To create a plugin, we just need to implement the plugin interface. Add the following code to your main RS, still to main RS. Let's add it at the bottom. Struct. I guess I was. I wanted to struct if Rust was like if the order of definition, declaration, or declaration was important. I'll look at it once the documentation is, which it is not. So hello plugin. We don't see that. You give it a mutable self. Is it mutable? Guess more of a pointer. Plus a mutable pointer. Plugin in your app like this. Hello plugin. That is good to know. The notification popped up and I still don't have it security number on stream. Now all that left is to move our systems into the hello plugin, which is just a matter of cut and paste. The app variable in our plugin's build function is the same builder type we use in the main function. Makes sense. So I guess we just want to put like that, and then app, boom. Maybe one here, indent to. Try running the app again. It should do exactly what it did before. In the next session, we'll fix the hello spam using resources. Now, what I'm wondering is, should I show the whole window? I think yes, because it's kind of a bother when we don't see all of VS Code. So what I want to do is this, and then but we still don't see everything, and that's quite small. Yeah, I don't think it's being very useful. But then what I can dash on my side, this, something like this. That's pretty bad. I still don't understand what. But I guess this more represents what I'm seeing. And I just would like to minimize VS Code since it's bright white in my eyes. Yes, I would like it to go down, please. Then I'll put this in front. That's not all better, but that is better. Okay. Next. And the documentation is not yet done. Resources. Why? Here, somehow VS Code got in front again. Okay, now we have some crashes. That's nice. What? You shouldn't need to compile. I guess it does. Compilation failed. Okay, I hope it created some files. But yeah, cargo run. Oh, interesting. And main RS build. Okay, app builder isn't found. Okay. Okay, all of this is okay. So we're doing the doc for main RS, and then when it reached main RS, it failed, which makes sense. So now what I'm wondering is plugin. Here, build app. Okay, that's even more convenient. Request as Rust Analyzer is not having a great time. See the output. Let's see if that helps a bit. I don't even know if I read that properly. Mute app name, that's fine. I guess the name is the type name, yeah. Here. Pub type create plugin. Collect. Yes. Expected something. Mismatch type. Expected. I think that's the empty tuple type because of default return type. Okay. Consider using semicolon. I cannot read. Yes, that makes sense. And but so far it's going pretty smoothly. I have no idea what I'm doing. And here we are. That's our hello. Alright. And control, it does not like control C. So now we can move on. And can we move on? I did want to check. I think we should have generated. It would have been nice if we generated some docs. There it is. I'm gonna put that in a file explorer. It's gonna be more convenient. Bevy app. That's an HTML. And then I guess we were looking at plugin. Build app. Okay, we've got something that works. Alright, so where were we? Resources. Entities and components are great at representing complex queryable groups of data, but most apps will also require globally unique data at some point of some kind. In Bevy ECS, we represent globally unique data using resources. Okay? Make some example of data that. Here are some example of data that could be encoded as resources. Elapsed time. Dash. Okay. Asset collections. That's more of what I had in mind. Renderers. Okay, like more system type resources, if that makes sense. Yeah, globally accessed stuff. Tracking time with resources. Let's solve our app's hello spam problem by only printing hello once every 2 seconds. Is that how we're gonna resolve it? Not just like once? We'll do this by using the time resource, which is automatically added to our app via the default plugin. For simplicity, remove the hello world system from your app. This way we only need to add the greet people system. Oh, okay, right, the system itself. Is it? What? Wrong language? I guess I should open up the Rust in X minutes. That was a nice resource to have. Here, like this. Then we can see that comments are with / and not hashtag. And I guess now that we're at it, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Cargo run. Function never used yet because we commented it. Alright. So indeed, declaration important. Let's solve our yes by using resources are we remove the system. Resources are accessed in much the same way as we access components with a query. You can access the time resource in our system like this with a res type. Makes sense? And that's in our greet people thing. Time is time. Query type. Okay, so we're not using it now. Res and res mute pointers provide read and write access respectively to resources. The delta seconds field on the time gives us, I guess we could have to up this. Delta last update delta seconds. That's delta seconds is nice, but this is a duration type. Why does it fail? I guess we still have a problem, but I'm going to ignore it until we do the actual compilation. The actual build. The delta, oh, I don't know how to read. Gives us the time that has passed since the last update, but in order to run our system once every 2 seconds, we must track the amount of time that has passed over a series of updates. Yes, makes sense. To make this easier, Bevy provides the timer type. Let's create a new resource for our system that track elapsed time with a timer. Struct timer. Suppose let's create a new resource. I suppose it's going to make us issues. People. Yes. What? No, I did not click. Did not. Then mute double timer res mute creep time. Skip for every line. Let's just squeeze that in. Okay. Update our timer with the time elapsed since the last update. If that caused the timer to finish, we say hello to everyone. If timer.0.tick time.delta that just What? Just a bit intense, but I guess that makes sense. Command is more of a builder type thing. Here. Okay, still good. So, timer dot 0 because we're having a resource with a bunch of stuff, I suppose. Or is it greet timer? Oh no, yeah, because our struct is a greet timer, which has a timer resource. Since it's a greet timer here, I guess doing it with greet people makes sense. And that, so timer.tick with the amount of delta. If it just finished, I guess it returns the timer. Timer tick returns self. If just finished, returns both, returns true. Only if the tick, only on the tick the timer reached its duration. On the update, basically. So the tick, yes, it makes very much sense. Now all that's left is adding the greet timer resource to our hello plugin. Hello plugin. After this, that insert resource greet timer from seconds 2.0 true. I don't know what the true means. Repeating, yes, makes sense. Okay, and why do we have repeating? Now what I want to get is the example we had earlier. It was in, do we still have it open? Do I still have it open? I'm gonna close some tabs here. I do not seem to have it open on my side. But I do have quite a few tabs opened. Alright, this is this. So, you see us? Day timers. Timers is interesting. Here in its countdown is a timer, but we only need the one timer. But more importantly, init resource, not insert resource. But I feel like I've seen insert resource in which one was it? System params. Yes, insert resource, and then it creates the type. But then yes, we create the type here. Okay. So the difference with timers is that probably countdown had a new yes, which created the from seconds, since we don't need to do that since it's a one-liner, and we're only showing this for as an example. So if we run the cargo run, the mic seems to be picking up something, and I'm worried of learning what this is. But yeah, this is running every 2 seconds. I don't know if we can see something on stream. Yes, we can. Nice. I can see the stream because the window pops on front of it. Now what I want to do is here, make sure you don't hear anything, and then me, I want to hear what I hear. Of course, now that I tested it, it doesn't do the noise thing. Test. seems to be fine. It is unpleasant to hear in general, but it seems to be fine. So let's put back the music. Okay. Let's hope it's not lethal level of unpleasant. So he ran the code, it worked fine. Next step, you have reached the end of the baby book. That was brief, and unfortunately we haven't even scratched the surface of the features. Eventually this book will cover almost every facet of baby, but until now we recommend checking out examples, breakout, baby API docs, baby assets, learning resources. This one is interesting. Extra functionality that you can use on your project, open source games with various stages of development. I suppose we want to look at the breakout, which is a GitHub project. Is this a one? Yes, it's a one filer. What's a learning resource? Official examples, making chess clone, making rhythm game, that's interesting. Migration guide, interesting. For which version? From 4 to 5. Language version, Rapier for physics. That's a bunch of guides, which is pleasant. So I guess I'll fiddle a bit more, but figuring out what to do on stream is maybe something else. It is 8 PM, which is very not late. So yeah, that's the system. That's the other thing we had earlier. That's another copy of it. That's app, that's the repo. Now I'm looking for breakout. I think if I run, no, if that's on the repo itself, if I run example breakout, that works, because that is one of the examples of Bevy. And if I recall, breakout was an example on Amethyst, which Bevy bases itself off. Let's maybe have an overview of what all of this is. Add plugins default, add resource scoreboard, which is just the usize score. Insert resource clear color, which is the clear color. I guess we could try to use clear color for now. Figuring things out one after the other. Let's keep our people. So let's start by having the resource somewhere. I guess it would be useful to view raw, save file, please. Type download, sure, but as an RS thing. Open folder, hope it doesn't open on stream. And drag it here. Yes, I trust. That's more convenient to run through. We could also copy paste, but meh. But well, no, not meh. Like, the point is to learn. But anyway, so did I know how to collapse on? Nah, no, very not. Collapse. Fold. All. Control K, Control 0. Okay. So it's clear color are we creating the type on the spot? If I go F clear color. Oh, render past clear color. Interesting. Can we? I guess since this is not in a project, we're just opening it. We can't inspect it. So let's add goes like this, right? This, and now color is a struct with the color. So I guess yes, let's paste it wholesale. Are the plugins maybe, or in the plugin? No. I don't know. Then we have our color. It is only used once though. Does that mean? Yes, since we're adding the resource component here, that probably means I try to cargo run. It might be the exact same color because that would make sense to be the default color for an app. However, that is very white because 0.9 is very white. Nice. So system. We're here. We don't need to care about scoreboard yet. Startup system. Let's look at the setup, which we can't just 12 because it's not a project file. It takes in commands. It's a startup system. Takes in commands, materials, asset server. But for what I got, you can use any params in any order, I guess. Just needs, like, it depends on the type of the param of the argument. Add the game's entities to the world. Cameras, spawn bundle, camera thing, UI camera, spawn bundle, sprite bundle, paddle, collider, sprite bundle, ball. Okay, yeah, we spawn bundle and we insert these on the bundle, I suppose. Is there a documentation for it actually? That would not be that surprising. Cheat book would also be useful. Though that is pretty much documentation we have and need. I might be blind, but I think I don't see it. Which is okay. Don't have, yeah. That's a decently sized cheat book. Pretty sure that that defies the purpose of a cheat book, but I think maybe not. So hub material, what thickness for bound? That's the walls, I suppose. Collider solid, wall material clone. Transform is here on the left. Sprite new, wall thickness, which is a generic float, and the height bounds at white plus white thickness makes sense, plus all of the default stuff. At the break, oh yeah, I had Pong in mind. Breakout is the bottom thing, yes. What? Leg cracked into. Okay. So what were we looking at? We want to, okay, look at the setup, which spawns a bunch of stuff. Makes sense. Now, let's look at the paddle movement system. Maybe we want to try and spawn the paddle. Then, what happens if we spawn the paddle without spawning the camera and stuff? Here, sprite bundle. Do we take it whole? If I split over here, we don't need, that's the add people. We don't care about the add people. Can we have multiple startup system? Let's try that out. I suppose if we can have multiple plugins, those plugins should not try to, like, we can't restrict the plugin from each making a startup system, so it makes sense that we can have multiple of them. So then it makes sense to have a, well, no, let's add spawn paddle and see if we can split that into like spawn entities or something. Here, comment that. So what is a spawn bundle? We would not be able to see it again because the file is not part of the project. Spawn bundle creates a new entity with the components contained in the bundle. Is that a bundle? Yes, sprite bundle. Okay, that makes sense. Whereas we insert components one after the other. Here, material. How about, yeah, we can use material. Materials that add into. Okay. I set color material. I have no idea what's my goal for it, but my end goals. 0.5s. Well, so that's R E, but not very B, so that's more of a yellow thing. Oh, point. So that's very of a blue thing. Very blue, just a bit of red, just a bit of green. Well, just a bit of red, just a bit of green, I think makes it more of a, more closer to white. Yes, so it's a light blue. That into, I don't know what into means, and we don't know. Is it because I didn't put my zeros? It seems to be because I didn't put my zeros. Performs the conversion, convert. So it probably guesses the T and type, and there's probably a trait for taking a color and making it a material, which makes sense. And we are here, yes. From XYZ 0 minus 15.0. Yes, I did take that strike. Let's make it a -1 thing. Right. Right. New size. Okay. It does. I guess for now it's just a square. I don't know if we're putting a. We don't seem to add giving it a texture or anything. Oh. And we add collider paddle. Collider paddle is an enum. Okay, that's probably for like collision mask thing. Okay, so we spawn the strike bundle. Do we use it? No, is it? Maybe. Let's see. Here, cargo run. I am not using my method. That is dumb. And more importantly, variant or associated item not found on color. Do we import some type of color? We do not seem to be. But prelude color is promising. F2 or F12. That's just an enum. That is an enum. That's interesting. So, and we were doing RGB. So I suppose those must be in order. Maybe not. Implement a bunch of default colors. Well, yeah, it's there. RGB into a color. Public const function. How does that work? So add that back here. Have a second gander at it. RGB, yes. And if Control F on it with words only and here only, we can see examples of it. Did I use the wrong parameter? It doesn't seem. That's because I cannot write. RGB. And we want to use that function. At the end, I suppose, add hello plugin can be something different. Add startup system. And I think we can do it without the dot system. Does it work? Do we have a square? I don't see it on my screen, but I see it on the stream. Oh no, okay, it's this. Yeah, I'm done with the size of the thing. Okay. So we don't have a square. Alright. Does he use a render? Coughing a bit. Commands. And bricks and stuff. Okay. Where do we use the asset server? As a font. Makes sense. And then that setup thing is used as a startup system. Just as a sanity check, I suppose we should check if that system something. Quantity startup system. Nope. Though I don't know where the 0 is, and it might be the camera thing. Then let's try to add a camera. Here, come back into setup. Orthographic camera bundle makes sense. Lens, spawn, bundle, orthographic, yes I know how to read. Camera bundle, new 2D. here, and then UI camera bundle, need one. Do I command to cargo run? I do not appear to have. I could use it, but I am too lazy to set up one, even though it's a matter of like 3 clicks. I think that the fact that I am not sure is part of why I'm lazy to do it. Oh, something. It's a thing. It's there. Nice. So breakout. Now that we have a pad, I have no idea where I'm going with this. Like, obviously if we just copy pasted the whole breakout, it would be a breakout game, but like, let's start with the movement system. It has a speed and a collider, which, like we said, the collider is probably a collision mask, so since we don't have to decide if we're colliding with stuff or not, it's not needed, I think. And the speed we can hard code for now. Here, what's in there? Can I expand? No, unfold. Unfold recursively. That's my sysadity thing. So we have a system that takes time. A keyboard input. I don't think we need this. Well, we might need it later, but for now I would just like to make the thing move. Query, paddle, transform. Yes, that makes sense. We want information about the paddle. Well, we don't, but the game does, since it uses the speed. Then it's a change the transform with that. So if let OK paddle transform that single mute, I suppose that single mute is getting well, the whole thing. Is it though? We didn't have to do that on our side. But yeah, getting the mutable components from the query, if it's okay. All right, because we were iterating on it, and I suppose it would still work if we did a for loop here, since if it's not okay, it's just gonna not loop, since iter is gonna be empty. So here it's making a check to see if the query has at least a single data. Okay, so if let OK, let direction, which we're gonna change with the keyboard input, pressed left. Okay, if it is pressed, we make it minus. If it's pressed, we +1. Then translation equal. Okay, can't we just get translation 3 times so it makes sense to put it in the variable? Move the paddle horizontally, move the paddle within the walls. That's a cap, I suppose. A clamp. Translation.x plus equal times the delta. Okay, let's do something similar, just make it move to the right or something. Got something like movement. Let's get as time. We don't need a tuple. I think we should be fine with just the mute transform. Though I suppose, yeah, for now we should only have this thing that has a transform, but we'll have to change that later. Some kind of tag or something like this. if okay, mute no, just the transform equal query. So yeah, we're pattern matching for something that is just one thing that is mutable. Mute. That check right? It seems to be. Now my question is, we had another query earlier. That query, okay. So this is a type, and then we can have the width something. So we don't care about direction for now. Let translation equal, well, yeah, we don't store it. We should be able to just do transform that translation dot x plus equal time dot delta seconds. Wasn't there something more convenient than delta seconds, like delta? Maybe not. Last update instant. Okay, the instant on last update, but if it's the first update, you don't have an instant, so that makes sense. And the duration is a bit too expensive to dig into, I suppose, than delta seconds. It's just convenient that it says delta seconds, so we know it's not milliseconds and stuff. Times 1 times 1. So for now, let's... Yes. And slap our system. We added the dot system. Oh yeah, it did change something. Did it? We added the camera and then it showed up. So let's go back to dot system. Met. Here. And yes, insta problem. If let okay, did I formulate my if let properly? If let okay, it should be fine. This expression has type mute blank yes transform. Expected struct mute but found result. So basically their single mute doesn't return a result. I think it's going to be more useful if I look at the file directly. It's a bit hard to read. Since I suppose item is a generic type. And there is exactly one entity matching the query. Yes. Okay, yeah, it doesn't return a result. Then what's the other one? Let's do let's say we want something that has a person and a transform, and then we add person mutable transform. Then what is that single mute? It's still the same, isn't it? Yes. Then that it wouldn't be something outdated, since we're looking directly in the Git file. So I don't know where this is coming from. Like, it's not taking in a result. Okay, we can tackle that later on. Next to. So, query. Does that work fine? Building. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try it. Oh, stuff happened. I think the window, like what showed up on stream is not OBS fault. I think the window messed up. But panicked app result unwrap. But we're not using a result anymore. I guess since we're not pattern matching, so we don't need to do an if let. Is that how you type it at that? Yes, if let mute stuff. So yeah, maybe the if let is trying to pattern match something that doesn't need to be pattern matched. But then it wouldn't compile. Like Rust wouldn't let us go that far. For a simple mistake like this. Right? Yeah. I wonder why, because if there's no transform, it should just not do anything. Now let's go on a theory that there is a difference. It's inconsistent, but I don't think it's gonna change much. And after that, I'm gonna actually look at the stack trace instead of ignoring it every time. Yes. So that system is implicit. Running Benita called unwrap on error, which makes sense, but that's not related to us because multiple entities. Oh, right. Okay, so let's just give our thing a tag. Let's call it player. I mean, it could be person, but we're trashing a bit this. Struct person. No, player. Or square or anything. I think that insert works. Player, which is a construct thing, but for an empty tab, I think. We should have a better example of this in add people. It should work. Is it because I forgot person? Oh, it needs to the from component. Fine. And then we can pull. So yeah, I suppose multiple things have transform, so we should do the for loop, but we don't want to do that. We just want to for loop on our player thing, on our square. Time it's bit because we don't care about the player. Was that how it was done? Greet people, query with thing. For name in query iter should still maybe work. There we go. And it's moving. Our timer is only put on the timer, so it shouldn't be affected by the 2-second thing. So let's multiply that by, that's tuck, tuck, tuck. So about 5. Maybe 10 even. Let's make it go fast. Times 5. I should be able to multiply a float by an int. Maybe, hopefully. No? No implementation of I cannot? Actually, let's Google that. That seems to be something you should to do. Multiply, float, and int. Here. Wow. Here. How do I multiply an integer and a floating value together and display the result as a floating value in Rust? I have the following code. This. I want to multiply the thing, which is an int, to the 1.5. Assuming you want the result to be 1 times 1.5 to be a floating point number, you can cast thing to f64 with an as operator. Interesting. Assuming you're always multiplying point i8 by 1.5, then you can fit the result in an f32 result type. Yes. Okay. So we have to be explicit with our conversion. Okay. But also, do we want to cast or do we want to have a 0.0 anyway? It's negligible for what we're doing, but and also I did say I was multiplying by 10, but too late. It's negligible, but it would be worth to check at some point. It's moving. Is it moving on stream too? Yay! And then just for the fun of it, actually no. Let's make something interesting. Let's make it a struct with an f64 f32. I guess it's and let's make it start by 1. And then we will need to make it a tuple this time. Player. I wonder if it's necessary to have the here single mute equal. Why did we need to put the result then? Well, we do want to. Oh, right, okay, so the iflet is okay. So the iflet did work, it's just like compile time, it did work, but there was not just a single one, so it failed. And we didn't have a fail. Say if it's an error, it should be fine. Anyway, but we don't have to. Yes, it would be a good thing to do the iflet because our system should not care about what the current state of entities are. Like right now, we're assuming the system assumes that the entities are like they are, but we shouldn't do it that way. So mute layer form like this. So basically what I mean, we should do an iflet. It's a good habit to take. So my point was we do here times player .0, I think. Because we made it a tuple. I wonder if it's possible to make a struct primitive type. No, because the struct would be a what I'm wondering is probably if we can make a custom a type def kind of thing for a float and then use that as a component. So my point was player.0 times equal to 0.0. So every tick it should be faster by 2 and it should zoom. So what's the irrefutable iflet? Well, no, because oh yeah, okay, yes. If it okay. That should work. Mismatch type expected, mute, player, mute, transform, found result. Single can't. Okay, but can we to get a result instead of panicking? Ah, there it is. Was that the thing in breakout? No. Interesting. Now it should, yeah, start so but then zoom at the end. It indeed did that. I mean, ×2 is gonna be a great factor every time, just by the number of frames. Is there a way to we're making this 2 exponential. Nah, I'm too dumb for to think of a good alternative, so let's just make it. I mean, I could try to think of something better, but also that's really not worth it right now. Just want to see it speed up slightly. It is faster. I wonder why, actually. Because we're just multiplying it by 1 point something. I guess we could print line the speed. But right, okay. Then let me just, or actually print line it first. I don't even know how print line works. I suppose it's a regular format and this should work. And then in the console at the below we should see it become bigger and bigger and faster and faster and bigger and bigger and faster and faster. There we go. That's fun. Right, music is still there. Yeah. I still have no idea what I'm doing. I guess we can clean the hello code, but also no. So we have some keyboard input stuff here. We have some transform stuff here. It's clamped here. I guess we could have a direction thing. Oh yeah, I should have just like increased it linearly, but at the same time linear is boring. So so what I kind of want to do is we could have that in a separate system. Yes, let's have this in a separate system. I haven't said what I want to do yet. Bounce. Let's call it bounce. Time, we don't care time this time. Mute, player transform, that's important. If we found that player transform, but at the same time, it is the player. I think we can let go of the if let. The definition of a player in our current game is that there is only one. But should have used get for another alternative is important. Yeah, remove this for the semicolon. Yes, forget my shortcuts. Put this here. We don't need to see this. Yeah, sure, okay. Oh, yeah, next we might want to display it as text or something. So my point is, actually we don't even need the transform. Yes, we do, but not mutable. Now my question is ampersand. What does it do? It shows it on string literal, that doesn't help. Slice immutable, I mean it is a pointer thing, but I would like a more mutably borrowed. Actually, let's go with Rust. Yeah, I need to be paying attention with this because I'm showing a bunch of stuff. I mean, while I'm here, might as well confirm. While I'm showing, might as well confirm that it's all okay. Except Twitch inbox. Nothing compromising yet. But I do take my habit of googling off screen. Rust mute versus mute. What? What's the difference between placing mute before variable after or that's not what I asked. It might also be helpful to think of basically this. Okay, let's just look at here. Can I put this to the side now? Rust pointer to the type is like a const pointer, const a. I must admit I forgot what the putting the const after the type means. Can't mutate either. Mute a pointer. Okay. Can't mutate what is pointed to. Okay. Alright, okay, yeah. Const a is the pointer is const and const type is you can't modify the t. But like people don't do pointer plus one generally, so const pointer is not something you think much about. So you can't mutate the pointer. That makes sense. You rarely would want to. So what were we thinking about? Oh yeah, this versus this, but we're not. They're all using mute pointer. So My voice is dying, I think. Here, mute. Let me retry that. I don't think I'm finding the right question. Yes, that is very not the right question. But basically, like, if it's an object, if it's a struct, we want to use a pointer. What does it really means? Well, I keep saying pointer, it's probably a reference. I think pointer is a more precise thing. Ah, is this it? This is not it. Yeah, I'm gonna move it to the screen. This one asks for pointer versus reference. So we're all dealing in reference, but my question remains the same. But basically, if we're using structs, I suppose we need to use reference since it's on probably the heap. I don't know. So bounce, player, transform. We don't care about the transform. We won't mute it. So I suppose we can, but we need it. So like this and non-mute transform, right? Required because of the requirements of imp. World query is not implemented for transform. Interesting. But how about reference transform? Yay! That's basically what I was talking about. Here, if that x is greater than, I don't know. Actually, can we have an absolute? Rest absolute value. Actually, math is boring. Abs, okay. Nowadays, abs is a method on most number types. Value minus value.abs. Okay. If I move this here, you can see that there is a lot of abs methods. Especially this. So that though, do we start at 0? Where is my spawn? Transform start here. Spawn start at 0. Makes sense. So bound if that abs is bigger than, I don't know, we're adding, well, yeah, times delta time, I don't know where that is. Let's say if it's bigger than 200, or I guess equal, if that, then we want to divide equal this by 2, and then we want to add a direction to this, but also getting a bit inconvenient. So let's do speed 32 with a comma, direction that would be helpful if there was an enum, but let's make it a bool for now. And I'm pretty sure how you make a struct. It seems to be how you make a struct, but maybe without a semicolon. Yes. And then we can make a comma here. Here, player. Here. Then how do you create a point with the squigglies? With the braces. Speed. Can you have a default value? No, I suppose you need to implement default for that. Direction, pause. In our movement, dot zero does not exist. Dot speed thing and times if player is if player the direction. Then inline if rest ternary. I think it'd be better to actually look in this. If as an expression. Do we still use the braces? Let's go back to the inline if. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. It doesn't say yet. Syntax for one line if else operator. Closing a duplicate of something else. Rust needs the ternary operational. I think we should start thinking about this. Let's say let direction equal if player the direction. Then was it the 1 0 else minus 1.0. I think this should work. And then we can multiply this by direction, but not click. So it means that if player the direction is true, we're going to go, well, I guess, yeah, we're gonna start left and to go left, and then we're gonna go right. So this works. This is so dumb. Speed divided by 2 and transform, no, transform the thing. What am I saying? The direction equal is, does the exclamation mark is a thing? That does seem to be a thing. I think it's in more functional languages that's not. Do you, if expression is fine at the end, then yes, since we had for loops and stuff. So that's a statement and not an expression. We're getting our stuff. Okay. Okay. Work. And then, whoops, we add our bounce. Something drum sound, heightening tension expectation rising. It is accelerating. Oh. It's doing a thing. What? Okay. Oh, that's not good. That's a very interesting, also very not good. What just happened? So it was rising, rising, rising since the beginning maybe. And then being divided by 2 at some point, yes. Ah. And then it somehow stayed at 200 every time. So we could check if the direction is the same as the sign. So if right now we're saying true is see that's why the boolean is not a good type for direction. But if direction is true and the position is greater than 0, then we flip as an extra condition. Yeah, that should fix it. Let's see if it's deterministic or something. Ah, again. As it becomes true 0. Also, that text system is getting really useless. No, that's how it is. So let's stop putting the hello plugin. So my point was, if player that direction is true and is ampersand and a thing. Yeah, Rust has pretty much of the C symbols, whereas the more functional things like I think it was Elm or PureScript like force you to use the and and stuff, which is fine. I just don't keep track of which is which. So is greater than 200. We want to put this or I kind of feel better with this. Then minus 200. So it's the same thing as saying if transform.x is, yeah, but then the greater here. Sure, let's think about it. Yes, I could do a ternary on that 200, but it's getting less readable. And it's still rising since I just divided by 0. So it's it gets kinda slower, but also it's, oh no, okay, it clamps at around 400. We have a thing. It's not quite a player, I'd say. And it's not killing the string, that's important. Well, though it won't minimize for... Oh, I think it's... Yeah, it's because I scroll on OBS, so it takes focus for some reason. And my scroll wheel is on free mode. Okay, so you have a thing. I guess it's kind of inconvenient that we're printing all of that stuff on console, so let's learn how to put on some text. I think this was using fonts, and this had a scoreboard. I'm pretty sure they don't put that in console. So let's learn how to put some text. This is the most boring game dev stream ever. Yeah, this is mostly... Did I say game dev at some point? Nah, it's software and game dev. That's fine. But at the same time, there's no... I guess there must be some guides for actual gameplay, but chess clone. Rhythm game is better, but it's not quite what we're touching. Snake is fun. Actually, making a snake clone might be a fun thing to do. But also, yeah, those are very classic tutorial thing. Like this, I'm not generally aiming to make snake in generally general. So yes, fun. Scoreboard, spawn bundle, text bundle, text sections. I'm reading this as I go along because I have no idea what entity it is supposed to represent. It has a style. Does it need a style? Who knows? Default. Okay, it doesn't have any component. It's just a text bundle. Okay, and it has the text, which has sections. Not sure what that's supposed to be. So we cannot have 12 yet. Score, something, text style, okay. I suppose that they gonna change the value of that. Text section, okay. Again with the fire up, that's probably for the number, which makes me curious. And the style is position. We can use default, I suppose, which is probably included in that default. Yep, and now I'm wondering how the scoring works. Scoreboard system, which takes a scoreboard, which is probably just the score. Yes, in use size, that's unexpected. I guess float can't be unsigned, can it? I guess I don't care to. So it takes the resource scoreboard. Oh, I keep thinking it's the Pong game. No, it's not 1 versus 1. It's just the score, the breakout thing. But still, you need to display the score, so the score should be updated. So yeah, it queries for the component, component text, which is one of those. So it has a text, it has a style. Okay. And that's a very simple system. Takes the text, takes a single mute. Why does here it there's a single mute, but up it said like result single mute? So weird. Oh right, that unwrap. So that must be a new thing. Okay. Here, let me just fold my arms into. Text at section 0 that value, form 0, okay. Score, okay. Let's try to make something similar, though I suppose we'll have to make a UI camera. Let's spawn a new entity. And yes, on a separate topic, dev stream is actually pretty fun. I will probably redo that. It's a lot. Well, actually, it would also help if I was doing something with intent. if I was working on an actual project or something. Sections, do I put an alignment? No, default. But like, actually, I would have probably gotten bored and moved on to something else by myself. Well, that works fine. So here we put also the default. I feel like there's a better way to do that default. Here, legend is a vector. I guess still, even if we have only one set. What did I do? Which open something I don't want to be opened right now, and it insists on being open. So I'm gonna go on task manager, and now I guess I can just close it here. Exit. There we go. So what I was saying, even if we have only one section, it still needs to be in a vector. That is a text section. There might be a better way to make a simple text thing, but value to string. I feel like this should be implicit. Do we need a style? What if we don't? No, that's a struct with probably the two things. So let's put a style, text, style. Yes. Would be nice if that on separate lines. Font. I guess let's get ourselves in a server. So that's probably a font that's in the file. Actually, let's confirm that. Examples breakout does not seem to be there. Baby, let's Google, well, search breakout.rs in this repo. Here. It might be an example /game. Yes. Breakout, alienate. Okay, there's nothing in the file, so that's promising. No, that can't be. Server load. That's the boring parts. Like, I don't know where to get myself a font, and I don't know if I can use the Windows fonts. But let's fail and then make a verdict. So my point is, we need an asset server. Actually, we might be useful to look at a guide for this. Asset server. Here, asset server. It will probably crash because that is non-existent. It might be a Windows font, who knows? Let's take those two. Here. That should be. I think it's statement, the word. Spawn bundle. Let's start by actually the noise. Oh, it did not crash. Interesting. It's probably only storing the information of the font, but since it's not rendered, not bothering to check and fail. So let's slap ourselves. Let's add a UI camera. I think place for that. UI camera bundle makes sense. Default. Still no crashes. Still no text though. Don't see a boop. I'm not blind. I do not see a boop. Interesting. And we did put text on it. Boop. It should be blue. No, that's yes, same color. And it's not at the center since our paddle moved and we proved that it wasn't not there. Okay. Text, yes. It's just an entity, it shouldn't. We probably don't need to render it this, like, especially, I don't know. And it's not, there's no ID stored, so it doesn't have a tag. We're on ECS anyway, so that's not something we bother with. I am wondering how velocity, like, is the ball a square too? Probably. Spawn bundle text here, style. Let's use this style without checking what it does. Position absolute, rect top left, makes sense. Still no. Oh, there's crashes. It could be. Actually, yeah. We haven't had a crash since the iflet thing. That is still not X. We did add the UI. Yes. Yeah. UI camera. I really have no idea what I'm doing. I should probably take some time to look at the tutorial, but those are almost non-existent right now. So yeah, an absolute position, it should at least be somewhere. Is it? If there's no font, like, it just doesn't do? There's no point for face reveal. There's, like, it wouldn't serve any purpose. Actually, like, I'm not going all in on the VTuber thing, it's just, it's fun to actually show where the eyes looks and stuff. So I guess that's the face reveal, which was in August. So I want to slap a folder with a font thing. I might be able to find the font in another project actually. Project. Oh, actually, that's fun. That's funny. Being technical about this. Back to Twitch. Oh no, actually I was already on the right thing. We might hear a bit of another stream because Twitch likes to show you a stream even though you don't want to look at it. Okay, I managed to get out earlier. Is it still in there? Oh, it's not. That was, I think, before September. I did a stream of an iPad game, and I had I was showing a rhythm game on iPad, and I was showing my hands, and during the loading screen, the screen was black, and so we did see my jaw or something. So I guess that's the face reveal. I did forget about this, but like, yeah. My point is, Unity Did I do it on there? No, I don't think I would have used the font on Udemy. How about Godot? There should be a font in there, I think. It's gonna be a terrible font, but a font nonetheless. I guess let's take the license to reveal it here. There, Xolonium. And yeah, sure. Okay, and that's a backslash, which is probably not cargo run. I do wonder why it's no longer in the. That must have been before August then, but also Dan Kagula didn't come that long ago. Actually, now I'm wondering, I can check the archive. Where would that be? Edited? Not quite. Stream. Twitch archive. It takes a while to load that folder for the where I'm probably reaching half a tera then. What? Take a while. Okay, so right on the game, still no text. The size should make sense. It says boop. Should it make more boop? No, it makes no sense. If it was in the corner, we'd see at least a quarter of it. I'm loading this properly. The font size should be pretty big. 5:5 is probably actually a ratio, so centered. And now that the folder has loaded, Medilife 2D, Dankagu was on August 4th. So yeah, I guess that it's been more than 2 months. Let's see if we have information about UI in general. Baby tile, prototype, Leon. Draw 2D shape like triangles, okay. Parallax, not really what we're doing. SVG, throw, air cutter, LDTK. Pixels interact canvas, that's interesting. 4x camera. I read that as 4D for a second. Wow style camera. So like an orbit camera. Fluent localization, interesting. Nothing that pops as UI stuff. Networking physics platform templates. An opinionated template for a Bevy game using workflows. That is pretty UI. Not I'm pretty blind. A plugin for Half-Life 2, patch plugin. Yeah, default plugin probably has its own thing. So let's here, there. I think we can, well, no. Text, what's about text in there? Scoreboard system, text bundle, and that's it. So let's get rid of this for a second. Go back here. What can we get about the UI camera? It's a struct, makes sense. It's an orthographic projection by default. Visible entities default should work fine. What is this entity in chat? Button bundle and UI. I guess that's Bevy UI thing. Can we line rider riding linearly on segments of line that took turns? And what I'm looking for is baby duck. Oh, actually, is there something interesting in there? Because there's, wow, that's not a cheat book, that's a whole book. Features, cameras, I don't think that's what I'm looking for. But yeah, I guess if the font is not loaded, then it does not do anything. That could make sense. Like we did add the font, we did add it to our file, but like the game is not loaded by auto-magically. So, but the only mention of font is this. How about asset? I'm just poking at random. Yup, nothing. Add resource. Setup. Doesn't use the asset server any other way. A flexible system for loading and managing game assets asynchronously without causing lag spikes in your game. Stored in assets, and that's what you loaded here. Assets color material. Loading using asset server to load, use the asset server resource. Okay, I might be the wrong route. What if, but we did try to load Fire Mono and it did not say anything, so it's probable that it just doesn't. This cues the asset loading to happen in the background. The asset will take some time to become available. You cannot access the actual data immediately in the same system, but you can use the handle. You can spawn your blah 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 even before the asset has loaded. They will just pop in later. I don't think that's a very good thing. And note that it is okay to call load as many times as you want, even if the asset is currently loaded. It will just provide you with the same handle. Creating your own assets. I don't think that's what I want to do. Hot reloading, that's not what I want to do either. And the model looks really bad when I look to the right. Handles are a typical way to refer to a particular asset. When you spawn things in the new game, such as 2D sprites, 3D models, or UI, their respective components will need handles for the assets to be used. Yes. To access the actual asset data from your systems, use the asset resource, which we probably can't get. But the root should be this. I mean, it might be in source. We just try it up. Yeah. Let's add this font. It is the font. No mistake there. Regular. I guess I should look at the font load method. Close this. Loads an asset at the provided relative path. Absolute path to the asset is should be good. Asset folder name. By default, the root is the directory of the application. Please get probably written. Would be nice as it is loaded or not. I guess that's something we could try and do. That also sounds like something very boring. Right. The text is disgusting. What is this font? But it works. It's good for now. Let's not dig too much into finding a good font and stuff. So that was probably 5, which means that if I put this at like